If you think this is a good idea, I've given you my advice. That's the most I can do. After that, you have to make a choice. And whatever choice you make, I will support you. And if this choice ends up being bad, then I will never bring up, hey, I remember I told you not to? Ugly or good, doesn't matter, but you have to put it all out. Because you need that from your spouse, and your spouse needs that from you. We have to shepherd our children, but then we cannot engineer our children.
Would like to ask that giving space, is it meaning that giving the chance and be around the person we love to fail when they fail and they have failure and then they hit rock bottom? Is that giving space, meaning like not giving them what they want but be always surrounding them when they have troubles?
Yes, and if you see that they're headed towards failure, part of your honesty is, I think you're headed towards failure, but this is a choice you have to make, and whether or not you succeed, I just want you to know that I will support you, and because Allah has given you the right to try, so I'm not going to take that right from you. I'll take this even personal. If my daughter said she wants to marry some young man, right, then I will say, let me talk to him, let me talk to the family, I'll give my opinion. I think this is a good decision, I think it's a bad decision, but at the end of the day, my daughter's an adult, isn't she? So I'm going to say, you have to make this choice. If you think this is a good idea, I've given you my advice. That's the most I can do. After that, you have to make a choice. And whatever choice you make, I will support you. And if this choice ends up being bad, then I will never bring up, hey, I remember I told you not to? I will still support you. And you will never hear criticism from my mouth. This is me giving her space. So she feels safe that she can make that choice no matter what, right? This is not giving license to do the wrong thing, but it's definitely license to try things. Right? And that's something we have to do. Human beings would never have made the innovations we've made. We're sitting, I'm using a microphone, this LCD screen, you know, the clothes we're wearing. All of this is a product of innovation, of human beings trying and failing at new things. We're all beneficiaries of that constantly. So who are we to stop it from happening? Right?
Yes.
I'd like to ask, you also already mentioned in the previous lecture on YouTube that in the Surah Ar-Rum and verse 21st, to find a right partner is the part that also gives us.
Oh yeah, I said that in Turkey. Yeah.
And within a marriage life, there's also a dynamics like what you mentioned on the stage.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the dynamics and the space, like when is the right time to give the space and when to take the space, and sometimes we prefer not to share the space with our
the
partner.
spouse. Yeah.
Instead, we share to our friends. And could you please elaborate the peace definition that you mentioned?
So I think that the marriage relationship is the most difficult relationship of all, and the most important relationship of all. Because of it, a person will rise. Because of it, a person will fall. Right? So I think between you and your spouse, you have to have the most difficult, honest, open conversations about yourself and about your needs in space. Ugly or good, doesn't matter, but you have to put it all out. Because you need that from your spouse, and your spouse needs that from you. And it's not an easy thing, it's a process. Yes, it takes time to get there, but every marriage should try to get there. Because without it, you're going to be suffocating inside. Even friends cannot fill that space. They can only fill a little bit. Allah designed the spouse to really truly fill that space. You know?
When you talk about space, I think about parenting to our child. Sometimes, as a parents, we try to give the best thing for our child, right?
Yes.
But what do you think about a realistic thing and optimistic thing? We don't know what happened with our child in future, but we know something. Hey child, this is good and this is bad.
Right.
And what do you think about optimistic thinking and...
You see, like Yaqub is a prophet, right? And his sons are not coming out very good.
Yes.
So he's a pretty good parent. We have to do our part. We have to shepherd our children. But then we cannot engineer our children. Right? At the end of the day, once we show them right and wrong. Even Allah doesn't force. Allah says, "Imma shakiran wa imma kafuran." Either grateful or ungrateful. That's up to you. So if Allah, the ultimate authority, is giving that room, I have to do my best to guide my child. But after that, when they get to a certain point, they have to make their own choices. Even the Rasul ﷺ told his daughter, you have to have your own taqwa. I won't help you on Judgment Day. I can't. Right? So that's the mentality we should have. Hey everyone, you just watched me answer a question somebody had about the Quran. I'm sure you have many questions about the Quran yourself. A lot of these questions get answered in the Deeper Look study myself and my team do, and turn into a series of the Quran on the Deeper Look series available at BayyinahTV.com. So get your questions answered, sometimes even without having to ask them, by studying these surahs in depth with us at BayyinahTV.com under the Deeper Look section.